Right, now we're just going to talk about static variables and static methods. So just remember that person1 is a name given to the instance of the person class. Instance class. So the class here is written like this. Right, now I've slightly just changed the code here. So these two are instance variables. In other words, these variables belong to the particular instance of the person class. So in this case, Tom21 are instance variables related to the person1 instance, and Mary22 are related to person2 instance. Okay, but a static method is directly related to the class itself and not the instance. So I've created a static variable here called person count and it's set to 0. It's static and it's of type integer. And what's happening here is when I create using this constructor, I'm going to increment the person count. So 0 will go to 1 the first time it's called, and 2, etc., etc. So I'll keep incrementing every time I call it. Now, I'll just let you know, I also, because I have a variable here, I use my setters and getters. So down here, I have my two static int person count, get person and set person. Just to show you what I did there again, just real quickly, I right click, source, generate getters and setters. That's the only one that hasn't been done. Click that and generate. So that's all I did there. Okay, so now I'm going to save that. I've also created another method down here called public static string my static method, and all it says is hello from static method. Now I will just repeat, this guy here is also related to the class and not the instance. Same as the variable is related to the class, not the instance. So let's run it. So when I run it, we get 3, right? So the first time it went from 0 to 1. The second time it went from incremented again to 2 and then incremented to 3. So I call this is, as you know, this is the name person. It's not called person1. That's the instance. This is the actual class itself. So person.getPersonCount got 3. And then this one here again, I'm calling person again, the class, and I'm calling the static method down here, return hello from static method. All right. Now, that's fine. So you can kind of understand, okay, so you use the actual person, the name of the class, rather than the name of the instance that you're using. However, the problem with static methods and variables is sometimes students get confused because you can call it from both the class name or the actual instance name. So let's just take person1 here for a second. Now, in this case, you'd imagine that person1.getPersonCount would give you 1 because it's called up here, it went from 0 to 1. Then it created 2 and 3, but we're only talking about person1. So if I run this, it still gave me 3. So that still gave me 3, even though I was talking about the instance and not the class name. And again here, person1, I called the static method, but it also came back through the instance. So be very, very careful when you're dealing with static variables and static methods. They can be called from both the class name or the instance name, but they only really affect the class. They're related to the class. Okay, there's some exercises on this that might help you understand it more.